Oh, zombies, man. So many freaking zombie-related things nowadays that people just jizz over. Not saying they're all bad, mind you, because some of them are actually pretty good, but that doesn't change the fact that we've got ourselves quite an oversaturation going on, thanks to it being the biggest easy way out since military shooters for writers of script and code alike. Man, if only there was a zombie game out there that was just totally weird and silly and out of its balls and not an indie game. Something that, I don't know, you can play as like a, I don't know, a cheerleader, high school cheerleader, and you got superpowers and using to fight zombies, and you like get to meet her family and they are also zombie fighting people with superpowers, and I don't know, she ends up going out with some dude who ends up just being a decapitated head or some shit. If only there was something different, something new, something like... Hey, what's that over there? Lollipop chainsaw. Huh. That sounds awfully convenient. I wonder who made this. Now this I gotta see. Grasshopper Manufacture. Now here are some real oddballs. This Japanese developer is responsible for some really weird but charming games like Killer 7, No More Heroes, and the downloadable Black Knight Sword. And when there's Grasshopper, there is a very strange man who goes by the name Suda51 at the helm. You can always expect something that's absolutely off the fucking wall with these people, and now that they've become more comfortable in the world of HD consoles after Shadows of the Damned, it's time to see what their bizarre take on the zombie apocalypse is gonna take us. So, let's dive in, shall we? Welcome to San Ramiro High School, a place of learning, sharing, school spirit, and holy fuck they have zombies! Fortunately, Juliet Starling is here to save the day. This bubbly and very popular teenage cheerleader, who is our main heroine of the day, was off to see her new boyfriend Nick. But when they meet, zombies happen! One goes straight for Juliet, but Nick manages to get her out of the way and gets nommed on instead. And now, in order for Juliet to save her love, she has to do... something. And now Nick's just ahead. Oh, fuck! Now that Nick is totally in on Juliet's secret of being a supernatural zombie slayer, it's time for the two to set off and find out just who decided to fill their school with zombies. After connecting with Juliet's sensei, because she has one of those, they find out that it was all because of a pissed-off goth kid who was probably an art student who goes by the name of Swan, who opened a gateway into a dimension called the Rotten World, which is the source of the infection.
That's a massive bummer.
That completely sucks.
After our heroes finally catch up with the diabolical Swan, that tricky little goth bastard summons a group of 5 elite zombies called the Dark Purveyors, who are essentially some kind of zombie rock band.
Welcome to the mosh pit, you zombie hunting sleaze!
It's up to Juliet and Nick to stop this evil zombie quintet and defeat Swan before it's too late. But fortunately, they don't have to go it alone because Juliet has her professional zombie hunting family by her side. Yep, that's right, zombie hunting is a family business apparently. You've got her older sister, the calm and collected sharpshooter Cordelia, her batshit insane younger sister Rosalind, who's usually always seen causing trouble in a school bus or some other large vehicle. You've got her dad, who's rocking some serious tiger skin there. And of course, giving her moral support over the phone is Juliet's mom.
Hey, it's Mom, Juliet. You are never going to believe Rosalind bought a bus. Yes, you heard right, a bus. Why would anyone want it? What is wrong with that sister of yours?
Zombie hunting is a business. It is their business. It is a family business. They are a family of superheroes. They don't have normal lives. This is their tradition. It's been tradition since God fucking knows how long. I love it. I love this. This whole thing, I just love it to bits. It's great! Can Juliet, alongside her boyfriend and zombie hunting family, put an end to the Dark Purveyors, defeat the evil goth kid, and save the world? Well, there's probably a way to find that out.
We're gonna bring these zombies the funk, right, Nick?
What? You gonna fuck a zombie?
No, gross. Bring them the funk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else, and I'm really sorry.
The game is a straightforward 3D hack and slash 'em up, where you go from point A to point B, beating the hell out of everything in sight and getting to the next stage. This is definitely one of those style over substance games, so if you're expecting something more along the lines of Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, then you're out of luck here. That's not to say that there isn't any depth here, though. There are plenty of upgrades that you can get, moves that you can learn. It just never gets nearly as complex as the aforementioned games is all. Besides, with a game like this, it's not so much about what you're doing as much as it is how you're doing it. After all, you are playing as a supernaturally gifted, scantily clad cheerleader who goes around fighting zombies by leapfrogging over them, stunning them with her pom-poms, and then mowing them down with a chainsaw that leaves behind a trail of rainbows and later transforms into a gun. While hacking and slashing her way through seemingly endless hordes of undead, she'll also rescue classmates, pole dance, play zombie sports, fight a giant chicken while tripping out on shrooms, get sucked into arcade machines, and so on and so forth, all while her boyfriend continues to make smart-ass comments about whatever the hell is going on.
What do we have here this time? Basketball? Why basketball?
She snacks on delicious lollipops to regain health, and she takes frequent online shopping breaks so she can buy upgrades and new abilities from a website called chop2shop.zom. So yeah, that pretty much speaks for itself.
I hate it when everyone turns into zombies, but it's also kind of fun because I get to do stuff like jump on a fire truck.
It is fun! It makes me forget that most of my friends are dead!
After going through a stage which has a whole bunch of crazy stuff happen, you eventually make it to the end where a ridiculous boss awaits. And as I hinted at earlier, they're all pretty much music-themed. You've got a zombie punk vocalist who literally attacks you with profanity. A zombie Viking metal drummer whose drum kit can create lightning. A hippie. A disco zombie with a keytar and a personal UFO. And this guy.
I've got a feeling when I start playing, you're just gonna die!
During the course of the early game, you'll get a couple of important upgrades for Juliet's chainsaw in the form of fancy birthday presents. The chainsaw dash, which lets her run really fast and jump off of ramps, and the
Chainsaw Blaster!
which makes the chainsaw turn into a gun, cause that makes sense. You'll get a couple of other presents too in the form of accessories for Nick and his role in the gameplay.
Nuttballs! I can shoot your head with this!
What?
And of course, additional upgrades for both Juliet and Nick can be bought at the store. At any time during a stage, you can always try your hand at Nick Roulette, which will hopefully give you a cool power-up based on what you've unlocked so far. The Nick Popper lets you shoot his head at zombies and stun them while dealing massive damage. The Nick Shake makes it so that money comes out of his head when you shake it. There's this weird thing that lets you use his head as a mace, and a couple of others as well. Additionally, when you die under normal conditions in a stage, you can also play Nick Roulette to get a chance at a second wind. Playing Nick Roulette uses up Nick tickets, which you can both find in the levels and buy in the store. When you kill zombies, two things happen. They drop coins, which you can use to buy stuff, and they give Juliet star power, which she can build up in order to go into a sparkle state. When in sparkle mode, she's pretty much fucking beefcake and can insta-kill any zombie with a single hit. Kill 3 or more enemies at the same time and you'll get a sparkle hunting bonus, which awards you with platinum medals, which you can use to buy stuff like art assets, costumes, and the in-game music. Cause even a professional zombie hunter's gotta have a healthy amount of MP3s in her iPod.
Nick, it would be really cool if I could implant an MP3 player in your forehead. A boyfriend and an iPod all in one. More room in my purse.
You realize that's completely degrading, right?
You can also get sparkle hunting bonuses when not in super crazy beefcake insta-kill mode, but it's a lot harder to pull off. So yeah, that's that. Simple, but crazy.
Have you ever had a space cake, Juliet?
A ding-dong, yes.
No, like a pop brownie.
No way, I would never do drugs.
Me neither.
Gross.
Right, I have no idea what a space cake is like. It totally doesn't remind me of the way I feel right now at all.
Controls are pretty much what you would expect for a game like this. On the 360, A and Y let you perform different attacks with the chainsaw, X lets you use her pom-poms for pom-pom strikes, and B makes her leapfrog, which is basically a dodging move, but sometimes it can also be used as a jump when prompted. Too bad those jump prompts don't come up often enough. There's a ton of stuff in these levels that look like she can easily just jump over, but I guess you gotta walk around that shit. Any direction on the D-pad will prompt you to consume a life-restoring lollipop, and clicking the left stick triggers Nick Roulette. When you've got a full meter, the right trigger unleashes the power of Sparkle. Last but not least, when you get them, the right bumper triggers the chainsaw dash, and the left trigger lets you bust out the
Chainsaw blast.
And I really don't think I need to tell you what button fires that. The camera's kinda weird, it always tries to reorient itself behind you when you're turning with the left stick. Normally games like this with free-moving cameras leave camera control exclusively to the right stick, often giving you the option to recenter it at any time if it doesn't do it on its own after a couple of seconds. You still move the camera around with the right stick, but it sometimes feels like you're fighting with it. The combat's not nearly as advanced as some of the big-name games in the genre for sure, but there's still enough here to keep you on your toes. Zombies are much easier to kill when they're in a groggy state, which you can easily do with the pom-pom strike. Your chainsaw attacks are pretty slow, so mixing in those faster stun moves in for good measure is a good idea, as well as trying to use combos that attack multiple enemies at once. There are quite a lot of combos that you can grab in the shop, but just like in other games in the genre, you'll probably just find a couple that you like and stick with those. Let's see what we got here. Butt attack. What? Hold X and release and Juliet will attack an enemy with her posterior. Let's take a look at this.
Okay then.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's awesome! And overpowered as hell too, she literally just attacks an enemy with her ass and then vertical slices them in half! Oh my god, that sound sells that move for me. There's definitely a lot of contextual button pressing going on here, as well as QuickTime events and this weird button sequence thing that happens whenever you stick Nick's head onto a zombie, so if that's not your thing, then too bad. Here's a little tip for all you achievement whores out there. Don't save all the classmates on your first playthrough. Whether or not you save all the students determines what ending you get, and there are individual achievements for both endings. You can check to see how many of the students you saved in each level by pressing X in the pause menu, but for some reason you can't check that shit in the main map screen, which is really stupid when you think about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special, it's all in the aesthetics and the context here. And man, does this game have a sense of style. I think there's some cell shading going on here, and it's certainly got a sense of polish. Models look good, character designs are nice, the frame rate's pretty consistent, and the environments are rocking some pretty vibrant colors. Juliet's got some shiny hair physics going on, and it's really funny to watch Nick just dangle around her waist like some kind of giant keychain. The sound design is also pretty appropriate, the voice acting in particular being awesome. Nick absolutely steals the show with his random smart-ass commentary.
Running zombies? Fucking stupid.
Actually, the hordes of undead that come at you have some pretty wacky personalities themselves, which is a pleasant surprise.
You throw like a girl!
They've got a lot to say, and it's really nice to see that they actually had some fun with it, instead of just making them dumbasses that go on about brains. Hell, some of them even have names.
Where are my beautiful grandchildren?
The soundtrack is also pretty rock solid, featuring a really random though appropriate list of licensed songs, as well as an original soundtrack split between former Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka and Little Jimmy Aaron, the frontman of the band Mindless Self-Indulgence. If there's only one complaint I have about it, it's that the songs Lollipop and Hey Mickey play way too often for their own good. But that really is just a minor annoyance. The actual game itself is a stylishly put together package that's crazy and random, which is really what you can only expect considering the madmen who hatched it. Once again, the game has got a really great sense of style, which does way more than enough to carry the game experience through its entire length. The ridiculous characters you meet along the way, the absurd situations it puts you in, makes you want to keep playing just so you can find out what the hell happens next, even with its relatively simple gameplay.
What the dick is going on with all this crazy stuff?
What the dick?
It's my new phrase I invented. Do you like it?
Once again, Nick is fucking awesome.
Fucking giant letter bullshit! How am I still talking without a fucking thorax?
Need I say more? And also, once again, I really have to applaud them for making the zombies into fun characters. Of course, the bosses are the highlight, and they certainly do have that Suda-51 feel to them.
We are Vikings, short and stout. We like to drink and fuck.
But the normal zombies have way more than their fair share of moments, too. You've got zombie cheerleaders, zombie teachers, zombie b-ballers, zombie farmers, zombie gamers, zombie firefighters. What the fuck, man?
More firefighters to the rescue. We'll rescue everyone.
Seriously, what makes me think that if the zombie apocalypse did happen and we all became zombies, things wouldn't be so bad? After all, these dudes are zombies and they seem to be doing just fine. Of course, all that style does come at the expense of substance. To be perfectly honest, I thought that No More Heroes had a much more fleshed out and involved combat system. But while the combat is pretty basic and it does get pretty blatant with the invisible walls, it comes nowhere close to being a deal breaker, but it is something to be mindful of, especially given its initial launch price of $60. Gotta say once again though, it's really weird to see her have a jump-like dodge move and she's unable to jump over lowly elevated obstacles unless prompted. The Chainsaw Blaster is pretty cool, but it's got some problems. It's got this lock-on thing going on, which for the most part is alright, but it can get a little annoying when you're trying to hit something in particular that's bunched up with a bunch of other things. It's pretty hard to make precision shots with this thing. Also, does Juliet have to say Chainsaw Blaster every time she pulls it out?
Chainsaw Blaster! Chainsaw Blaster! Chainsaw Blaster! Chainsaw Blaster!
Speaking of repetitive, I wish they had a couple of other songs that they could have used for when you become sparkly. I mean, don't get me wrong, hearing Hey Mickey play for the first time is hilarious as shit, but after the 50th time, it becomes a little less novel. Same thing with the shop. If only they had a couple of more songs that had something to do with lollipops. Also, good god, there are a lot of QuickTime events.
Retarded.
Once again, the game can be pretty strict when it comes to movement, so glitches like clipping issues and being stuck in the environment don't really happen. The AI can have brain farts and not do anything, though. Yeah, I'm right here, dude. Even during the mini-games. Come on, come and get me.
That dude would be scarier if he wasn't wearing a fez.
Speaking of minigames, there is one in particular that's kinda wonky. You're climbing up this big-ass building and you can only move along a grid. Getting hit by stuff and falling to your doom just because not all of your pixels have left that one space yet? That can be forgivable, I guess. But sometimes the projectiles that you shoot go through stuff you're supposed to hit, and that can get annoying. Also, sometimes there can be some really weird pop-ins, like in this Viking ship area. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Lollipop Chainsaw isn't a deep game, nor is it a very long one, but that's not what it's trying to be. More so than anything else, it's a crazy experience, and a well-written one at that. If you're a fan of Grasshopper's other games, then you've probably already played this one and love it. If you're some kinda hardcore gamer who gets really cranky about depth and complexity and sometimes RPG elements, then get the fuck over yourselves and enjoy the damn game for what it's worth, because it's definitely something else. It's fun, it's colorful, and it's genuinely out of its mind, and it's awesome because of it. So rev up those chainsaws and get your fucking sparkle on, because it's time to kill some smack-talking undead.
Oh, nice one, girl.